Hey viewers, Spang here with some proper disclosure. Each World of Tanks video from this point forward will have a link in the description for new players to download and register to play the game. The link is provided by my YouTube network and slightly helps to support my channel. It places no restrictions on the content of these videos, however, and disclosure in future videos will be done in the early video commentary in a way that doesn't interrupt the video, kind of like this is doing. But I believe being open and honest are paramount, and I would never endorse something I don't personally support. So thanks for your time and understanding, and now on to the video. What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you a World of Tanks gameplay commentary. One of my matches in my Tier 7 Russian medium, the T-43. It is a standard battle on Northwest, and it is a Tier 8 match. With obviously some Tier 7s, 6s, and a 5 here and there. Scout tanks, of course. And we're going to see exactly what is so good about this vehicle. To be honest, not much. I mean, it's an okay medium tank, and you'll hear some people swear by it. I know some people love the KV-13 because of its troll armor. But this is what you go to after the KV-13. It's got good mobility, as we see right here. Got some chat about tech tree stuff. I don't know if people are obviously probably talking of, yeah, obviously probably, but they are discussing tanks in the tree of some fashion or other. Now, I go up the middle because I'm a semi-mobile medium tank cruising at 50 some odd kilometers per hour and decide, if nothing else, I'll get some spotting information. I mean, sure, we got that Tier 5 Scout, but I don't really trust him. We got the T-71 also pushing up the middle, although not quite as aggressive as I am. I spot the 1375, but then decide to get out of dodge and preserve my hit points a little bit. I see that WZ-131 and try and take a snapshot at him, but RNG does not give it to me, nor does it give me that. Now, as you can tell, this thing's pretty paper when it comes to its armor, usually, which is one thing you will see in this match. It's not always the case. But the thing I have the biggest issue with in this vehicle is it's a Tier 7 and it has 144 standard penetration. It's got a good rate of fire, a good DPM, but that standard pen, it makes things rough. And it honestly makes you need to fire APCR gold rounds quite a bit if you want to have any hope of penetrating higher tiered armored targets. In this match, we have soft vehicles such as the Roomba, such as the ISU, the Super Pershing, not so much, Tiger 2, not so much, but there are things here I can penetrate without. Ooh, lit on fire, and my engine busted. Now, I'm obviously not going to deal with that for much longer because, well, I definitely don't want to. Ooh, bouncing the 131 right there, and by that I mean bouncing his shell off of my vehicle and a lot of rounds flying my way. I decide I don't want to be here. RNG giving me that little bit of a snapshot there and trying to get behind cover so I don't die a horrible, horrible death. Got the Roomba falling back. Do I take the snapshot at it or do I focus on this 1375 in front of me? I have clearly got myself in a poor position right here. Already down to only 380 hit points. I get a side shot on the WZ, but not much else. It pretty much disappears altogether. Get a shot into this 1375, who gets nothing but a critical into my tracks, and I shoot him yet again. He is clearly clipping a target of opportunity if ever there was one, and then WZ apparently not being able to get through my armor again, talking about how this thing has paper armor, but this match, just the way I'm angling it and the way I'm getting shot at, it is not benefiting this enemy team whatsoever. This 1375 wants to kill me, but I kill him instead. The 131 still a large threat for me, and at this point I have just been pummeled to a pulp, shot several times, taking nearly my entire hit points worth of damage, and 114 hit points remaining now. Now I want this scout tank. I'm gonna get a shot off on him. Being really ballsy here, being a one-shot. In my mind, I'm kind of in the mindset, I'm just want to get this over with. I dodged the first shot, however. The second shot ricochets. Third shot as well. And I do manage to get the kill. 2 kills at this point. And how much damage? Over 1,000. So I have done my tank's hit points and damage. Killed a couple tanks here and there. Certainly pulling my weight, although not doing too phenomenally, except for the fact that I have just been ricocheting. And those last 2 ricochets, actually, from the 131 were APCR rounds. So just showing you that even though this tank most of the time will get penned rather easily, you do have some troll armor here and there. And it will, I mean, the bias is real. any other tank most of the time probably would not have gotten. And again, pull out your tinfoil hats as I spew out some conspiracy theories here. But I mean, there are people who say, you know, RNG, and there is a bias towards Russian vehicles because the developers are Russian. But at the same time, how much value can you put in that? Probably it's probably just players being paranoid and confirmation bias more than anything. So there is a bias, but I don't think it's Russian bias to an extent. There certainly was some early in the, you know, beginning phases of this game. And the enemy team getting taken out as I fell back to regroup with my tier 8 heavy tanks, the 110s and IS-3. This enemy team certainly not going to pull out a victory from this one, and I am still very much alive. 11-2 and nearly a 5,000, over a 5,000 hit point difference. That Dicker Max trying to fall back and get some final base defense going, but clearly not going to be anywhere near enough in order to salvage this match for his team. I mean, the Dicker Max is, from what I've seen, a decent tank destroyer, but not that good. He will, however, kill our T-44. Wow, I might have doomed him with those words. And again, as I've said so many times, these matches are so old, I don't really recall the specifics of everything that happened. I think the Tiger 2 is far too gone, and then discovering, nope, he is right there. The Super Pershing and T-34-85, however, on the one line, running into our Hellcat St. Emile and our Tiger 2. Not looking good for them. I'm going to clearly take the easier shot, kill the Dicker Max, and then have nothing but rear booty shots. Booty, rocking everywhere. Gonna shoot him, get some free damage, and take the Tiger 2 if I can, but also being very cautious due to the fact, now that he's aiming at me, I'm feeling very endangered, and his round missing, just like the 131s did earlier, of the first of 3 anyway. And he's going to try and come around the corner. I've got standard rounds loaded because I am just crazy. I should have had 8 PCR, no question about that. But managing to stay alive through that entire match. And like I said, Russian bias or confirmation bias, you decide. But let's go to that post-game rack and stack. And looking at said stats, the Mastery Badge First Class got ourselves Spotter because, well, I mean, I was just rolling up all in that enemy team's face and nearly died from it, but I did allow my allies to cause over 1,000 hit points of damage from my spot and got shell-proof due to the number of shells that inexplicably managed to ricochet off my tank's almost non-factor armor, fire for effect, and bruiser, getting ourselves a steel wall and a T-43. Not quite sure how that happens, but RNG was certainly on our side. And this tank was clearly blessed by RNGesus. Going further into detail, however, we see that in the damage count, the ISU on the enemy team really being the only person to break 1,000 damage, the rest of his team not really doing so hot, and a tier 7 at the bottom with 0 damage. I mean, the IS fully upgraded is quite formidable. Otherwise, it can be hard to drive, just like any tank is hard to drive stock. Where do I stack? Well, I come in 4th in terms of damage. However, I am 1st in terms of XP. And when we look at why, I had over, wow, damage upon detecting, over 1,900. So definitely helping my team out in that regard. I ricocheted 11 shells fired at me, and 6 did hit me for damage, but blocking over a total of 1,300 damage worth, more than my tank's hit points. I ricocheted over my tank's hit points and damage, and then I got beat up for nearly to death, but still managed to survive in the end. Total damage not too impressive at just over 1,400, and none of it really at any sort of distance. But the enemy team, I'm actually kind of curious how, I mean, that's like 2 shots, right? That's like 2 actual penetrations, yeah, from an ISU. That's what I thought. The Roomba looks like he landed 2 good shots, and yep, again, not too impressive of a performance from the enemy team. However, our team, our IS-3 was platooned up with that 110, both those 110s, and you could tell they were definitely doing work, and I eventually did fall back to those guys and had them cover my back. But overall, 16 shots fired, 12 direct hits, 10 penetrations, and we already know the amount of damage, but overall, a pretty solid performance. I mean, really, it was a ×3, so I was very happy with that, earning over 4,881 experience, and even on the base of 1627, I mean, kind of why I got that mastery badge first class. Still, I was very happy with this game, and I was just shocked at the amount of shells that managed to ricochet off my tank's thin armor. I mean, I have never had as much luck before or since with this vehicle, and now I'm on to the T-44, so it won't happen again for me. But who knows, maybe one of you out there driving it will find yourselves so fortunate as I was in this match. Unlikely as though it may be. However, that's going to about wrap it up for this video. Thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have a replay you want me to do a commentary on, think I should do a commentary on, check the description below for instructions on how to submit. Also in the description below are other ways to follow and support my channel should you be so inclined and or interested. But what's it, this has been Spang, and clearly I'm just oh so professional. Until next time, my viewers.
MLG Dynamo.